Hi, this is Randy. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad to have you here today. I hope you're doing wonderful today. I sure am. If you get a chance, would you go look at the bottom right hand corner and hit the subscribe button? That will help me get my video pushed out to other people. That's the only way it can happen. Thank you to everyone who has helped me and who has joined the channel. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. We're going to be talking today about what does the Lord hate? What does the Lord hate? Proverbs 6:16 through 19. There are 6 things which the Lord hates. Yes, the 7th, which is an abomination to him. Haughty eyes. What are haughty eyes? A person who is arrogant and conceited. We all know somebody like that, don't we? That's arrogant, conceited. They think more of themselves than they do other people. They're inconsiderate when it comes to others. A lot of them are narcissists. Think the whole world revolves around them. I've seen that a lot with ministers when I went to conventions and stuff. You know, they thought they were so important and so great. And when they get it in their head, you know, like they say, you're a legend in your own mind. And so, haughty eyes. We run into people like that. Then what does the Bible say? It says, a lying tongue. A lying tongue the Lord doesn't like. Revelations 21:8 says, but for the cowardly and unbeliever and an abomination and murderer, immoral persons, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, all right, liars, their part will be in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. All right, so all liars will have their part in the lake of fire. Have you ever met anybody that said they was a Christian, but every time their lips were moving, you knew they were lying? You couldn't believe anything they said. They couldn't remember all the lies. They tell so many lies that they lose track, and they can't keep track of them. That's why my mom and dad taught me when I was young, don't go around lying. It's not good. God don't like it. It's a sin. You shouldn't do it. And if you lie, then you're going to have to tell another lie to cover that lie, and you'll tell them. Then it's so much easier if you just tell the truth. You can always remember what you said because you told the truth. And so that's what we need to do, is not go around lying on people and causing people problems. Now we're going to talk about hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked plans. They invent by careful thought a wicked plan to hurt other people, and they try to harm people. There are people that murder people and they kill them, or they beat people up and rob them, and they shed innocent blood. They're going to answer for what they did. Now, we've had a lot of wars over the years where people escaped and never stood justice for killing innocent people. Some people killed thousands of people, and they got away with it. But they didn't get away with it in the next life, because when they stand before God, they'll answer for the innocent blood they shed and for the people they murdered and pillaged and they hurt. All right? In verse 18, it says, a heart that devises wicked plans. They invent by careful thought a wicked plan to hurt other people. They try to ensnare people. They try to trap people. They try to be mean to people. They'll even use other people as puppets to get them to do something that they want them to do to make you feel uncomfortable or hurt you. And they devise wicked plans. God does not like that. He said there's 7 things he hates. 6. The 7th he hates it horribly. All right? So we're going to talk about feet that run to evil. Feet that run to evil. They can't wait to run and share evil things, and they will hurt people and don't even think nothing about it. They don't lose a minute's sleep knowing they told a lie. They don't lose a minute's sleep by being mean to somebody, devising a plan, or trying to get, I don't like this person, so I want to get him or her to not like him too. So I'll pull them over and I'll bend their ear and try to do that. You know, there's 2 sides to every coin. All right? And it's not, I did pull this one time, and then I admitted to the guy, and we redid it. He didn't even catch it. We were at a ball game, and we were supposed to play, and they forgot to say which was the home team. So he said, well, we just flip for it, and we'll find out who bats first, who bats second. I said, no problem. I reached in my pocket. Believe it or not, back in those days, I had a $50 Ben Franklin. I pulled out and said, heads I win, tails you lose. He goes, okay. I flipped it. Tails, you lose. He goes, okay, you're the home team. And they started to walk off, and I tapped him and said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, you didn't catch what I said? He goes, what? You won the toss. I said, heads I win, tails you lose. He still didn't comprehend it. He looked at me like this. I said, heads I win, tails I win. You said heads I win, tails you. And then when he did that, he goes, oh. I said, let's reflip the coin, all right? You call it this time. And I flipped the coin and he called it. And so, anyways, I was just clowning around with the guy, but he took it. And that's the way some people are. They try to deceive people, and they try to get other people to deceive people. And I'm mad at them, so you should be mad at them. And if you aren't mad at them, then I'm mad at you. God doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. He hates things like that. They can't wait to run and share evil thoughts and hurt other people. They love having bad news. You know, it used to be a show years ago called Hee Haw, and they said, we don't repeat gossip, so you better listen close the first time. And that's what a lot of people do. And they get on the old party line at church, and they call this one and that one and this one and that one. By the time Sunday church rolls around, they've got a dozen people on their side to do the coup or whatever they're going to do. And God doesn't like people devise bad plans and devise wicked plans, because God is not in that. God is not the author of confusion, and he's not a God that causes trouble for people. Feet that run rapidly to evil. They can't wait to run and share their evil thoughts and their hurts and try to hurt other people. Verse 19, a false witness who utters lies. There are some people who, if their lips are moving, they're lying. You know it. By their fruits you will know them. They have a reputation. They are a person that goes around lying all the time and stirring up strife and causing problems. Their reputation precedes them before they even get there. And false witnesses who utter lies, no one wants to be around that kind of people. They don't want to talk to that kind of people because they're habitual liars. Not only that, every time you go to talk to them, they've got some bad news about this person, bad news about that person. All they talk about is bad news. You'd think they was the 5 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news. That's all the news channels do anymore. You know, when I was a kid, Walter Cronkite, a lot of people don't know him, a lot of the older people will. He was a man that you could trust, and he gave you the news. He reported the news, all right? And they had David Brinkley and his partner, Chet Huntley, I think it was. One was in Washington, one was in New York, and they gave the news at the same time and all that. These people reported the news. People trusted them. They were people that you looked to. He was there when President Kennedy was pronounced dead, and Walter Cronkite took his glasses off and put his head down, and he fought back the tears and told that the president had died and everything. These people had character, and they were people that people looked up to and respected. Now, news people, they get on the TV and they just lie and they spit hatred out and everything else. They even had a news anchor. I was flipping the channels and I saw a headline, so I stopped. I wanted to see it. And he told you if you don't vote for this certain person, he called you a filthy name and told you what you are if you don't. You'd never heard Walter Cronkite or any of those guys, Brinkley and Huntley. They would have never done nothing like that. They didn't talk about what you should do. But this is the society we live in. People love to run other people down. They love to stir up strife. That's what they are, a troublemaker and a strife. They don't report the news, they invent it, all right? So let me tell you, we'll move on from that. And I'm not talking about our current election that's going on. I already know what I'm going to do. I've already prayed about it. You know, I know what I'm going to do, so I'm not trying to influence anybody. I'm trying to tell you that the spirit that we have in the country going around, a lot of it is coming from all the news media who try to invent the news and get you all upset instead of reporting the news, all right? A false witness who utters lies, and they lie against people. Nobody likes a person like that. And one who spreads strife among the brethren, or angry or bitter disagreement over fundamental issues. They cause conflict and strife in the church. And they cause trouble in the community if they can. They love fighting. They love to argue. They love to sow discord in the church. They are people who love to gossip. They love to ridicule. And they are selfish, and they're quarrelsome. And they like to quarrel. I've met many of them like that. I've had to set some of them down because they got up and caused confusion. You take them away privately with a couple of elders and talk to them. If that doesn't do the trick and they keep bothering church, then you have to bring them up in front of the church. That's a rarity. That's a rarity. Very rare. But sometimes you have to do it, and it should be a rare occasion. But there are people that love to fight, quarrel, cause trouble, cause conflict, cause strife everywhere they go. That's what they do. All right? I inherited a guy when I took over one dealership, and I thought he's going to be trouble from the get-go. And I talked to him privately, set him down, and said, here's what I don't like about you. This is the way I work. I don't like customers coming up 3 days after I took delivery of a car and said, that guy told me I'd get a cassette stereo and he'd have it for me Monday, and this Wednesday he still hadn't done it. I go pull the deal. There's nothing in there that said. We had a form they had to sign when they took delivery of the car. Has anything been promised to you that you have not received from the salesman or anyone else that works for this company? And if they said yes, he'd say, what is it? And they would tell him. He'd write it down and bring it to me, the finance manager, and he'd say, look, boss, they say we owe them this. It's not on the deal. And then I would say, no, we didn't agree to that. Then I'd go in there and sit down and tell them, no, we can't do that. I don't know why he told you that. If that's a deal breaker, then we'll go on and buy the car. But he told us he'd take care of it. I said, okay. So I paged him to the office. He walked in. What's up, boss? Everybody called me boss to ask him not to, but they did. He said, what's up, boss? I said, these folks said that you were going to give them brand new floor mats and get them a brand new spare tire. That the spare tire that's in there is kind of lean. It's been used and they're a little leery. They're going to make a big trip. I go, did you tell them that? Well, I didn't mean I was going to. I said, no, did you tell them that you would give them new floor mats, carpeted mats with the name of the car they're buying on it, Lancer? Well, yeah. I said, no problem. I said, go on back to your office. I told him, no problem. Here, we'll write it down. They'll call you when they have them in. And I had the people sign it. And then when he got his paycheck, guess what? There's a ticket stapled to it for 4 new floor mats and a brand new tire. He comes running up to me. What's this? I said, you have good credit around here. Anytime you want to give stuff away, you can, but you're going to pay for it. I'm not going to. All right? If it's not on the deal when I work it out and when I sign it and I haven't authorized it, and you promise to a customer they're going to get what you promised, but you're going to pay for it. After about 3 times of that, he didn't catch on. So I called him up and I said, look, the next time you do this, we're going to have to part company. I'm not going to put up with it any longer. You understand me? He said, yeah. I spun a piece of paper around and shoved it over to him. And the essence of it was, if you give anything that's not authorized by me, the manager, the head honcho, then we'll part company, you're going to be terminated. He said, I don't want to sign this. I said, okay. If you don't want to sign it, you're done today. Pack your stuff up. Leave now. I'll get somebody to drive you home. You're kidding me. I've been here 5 years. I go, I understand. I inherited you. I inherited a headache. Then I opened my drawer and I pulled out the Melantha and the Tylenols and put them on the desk. I said, do you remember these at the meeting I had with all the salespeople when I took over? Yeah. I said, do you remember these when I set them on the table a month ago and talked to you about this problem? Yeah. If I have to take either one of these because of you, I'm not going to take these. I'm going to get rid of the problem. Then I don't have to take these. You're starting to cause me a problem. It stops today. You either sign it or you're not working here. So he signed it. What happened? 3 days later, another promise. He promised somebody he would take a stereo out of one car and give it to them because they had a cassette recorder, but they'd have to come back Monday afternoon. They'd have to come in on Tuesday because I would be at the auction buying cars. I wouldn't be there, and he'd swap the radios out with the other car. I found out about it. We parted company. I got him packed up and left. Why? Because I couldn't trust him. I didn't want him lying to customers. I didn't want customers to be upset with our company because he was doing unscrupulous things. People do that all the time at church, not stereos and floor mats and tires, but they stir up strife among the brethren, and they do things behind the scenes. You shouldn't do that. What does God hate? These 6 things plus the 7th one is an abomination to him. People that run fast to stir up strife among the brethren. The Lord hates that. What is God like? I'm going to give you a couple last verses here. What is he like? In Ephesians 4:32 says, "Be ye kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ God forgave you." Let's jump back to verse 34 and see what it said. 31, excuse me. "Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor be put away from you with all malice." The Lord doesn't want you to be bitter. He don't want you to be angry. He don't want you to clamor and complain. He don't want you to have malice in your heart and hold hard feelings against people. God don't want you to do that. He loves it when you don't do those things. Ephesians 6:35, the last verse. "But love your enemies and do good and lend, especially expecting nothing in return." Let me say something there. Expecting nothing in return. Don't do things for people and then try to hold something over their head with it, all right? And your reward will be great, and you will be the sons of the Most High, for he is kind to the ungrateful and to the evil. So 7 things the Lord hates, but he wants you to be kind to people and not have bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, malice. Put them away. Be ye kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ forgave you. We need to forgive people and be compassionate. All right? Let me tell you one real quick here. When I was a kid, about 5 or 6 years old, I learned that in Sunday school. The next day, I did something wrong, and my mom called me in, told me what I did wrong, and she was going to spank me. And I told her, before she did, I turned around and said, "Wait a minute, Mom. The Bible says, be ye kind one to another. Is this being kind?" And my mom told me, I don't remember because I was little, she said she threw her hand up over her face because she was laughing. And then she told me to turn around, and I did. And I looked back at her and I reminded her again, "Be ye kind." And she couldn't whoop me. She told me to take off, going out in the yard. And then she went in and got my dad and told my dad what happened. My dad had a good laugh. And I got out of a spanking because I learned a verse. Be ye kind one to another. It saved me a whooping. So you need to be kind to other people. If you have a chance, please. It takes less than 15 seconds to hit that subscribe button down in the right-hand corner and give me a thumbs up if you would. Share it with someone if you would like. And if you make a comment, I'll get back to you quick as I can. If you like what I do, if you want to hit the bell, you'll get a notice every time I post something. I thank you for your time. This time till next time, God bless you. Old Rev May signing off. Have a wonderful day, and let God bless you this week.